extravaganza since like
the last time it was Halloween.
Last year, man. It's been a long time.
It has not in fact been Halloween for a little bit.
It hasn't been Halloween for at least a year. Pick It and Flick It podcast, Halloween extravaganza.
After Hours.
The second annual, with our first entry. I don't know, man. I'm not even disappointed that this movie was such a fucking hodgepodge of so many things. But for our first entry into this, and yeah, After Hours, I guess we're recording rather late, so who knows?
It is 11:40 at night.
Who knows how the energy is going to be? 2020's Psycho Goreman,
or PG for short,
or PG for short. Here's a fun game that we could play.
Mm-hmm.
Take a shot every time they say "or PG for short,"
or frig off,
or frig off. Well, we would be, I think, dead by the end of the movie. Because
I thought you were gonna say take a shot every time they reference or homage another movie,
a different movie.
Yeah,
although tons, I feel like it wasn't as bad.
No, it was very subtle.
Yeah,
you had to be paying attention for sure. My bad if I was making that seem like me saying that was a negative. I actually really liked it.
No, I don't think you...
I even said to you that since we haven't had a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie in a long time, Psycho Goreman decided, fuck it, we'll do it.
We're just doing it.
Which was a better Nightmare scene than the whole remake.
So, for those who don't know what this movie is...
I just watched it and I'm still not 100%.
Well, to put the umbrella over everything, I love the tagline for this movie
which is what?
Little girl, big psycho. Which is referencing only one character.
Right.
Because Psycho Goreman is not really a big psycho.
He's
she is Mimi.
Yeah, Mimi is
a little girl and a big psycho all at once. So again, to lay it all out, starts off with two kids, Mimi and Luke.
That's my name.
Hey,
we didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say you're Luke.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, I'm Vox. Still here.
Checking in.
They unwittingly
skibidi-doopa.
That's literally what it is. Unwittingly.
Oh, okay.
Here.
I thought you said
no.
something.
I'm just reading what's on here. Resurrect an ancient alien overlord, and that was a little misleading in the beginning because I didn't know if it was a time capsule or a spaceship or a tomb. Because
it was a failed CIA project.
Well,
it was a cover up.
I thought it was just maybe like I expected it to be. This is what I initially thought. They like activate it, push all the buttons and pull the
a la Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. I expected like a spaceship to come down and crash or something.
That's that. If this movie was made in 1984, it would have like The Thing or Predator.
Right.
It begins with one unrelated shot of the flying saucer flying through deep space towards Earth, and then you'll forget about it until the Psycho shows back up. Yeah.
Because they never reference what was in the ground ever again.
No, the big hole.
There's a big hole.
That's the beauty of this movie is they will set up entire scene. I guess continues into other scenes worth of build up, all for one-off joke, and then it'll never appear again. Like you said with the digging the hole, all leads up to the dad saying he's going to do it, and then he gets a wrist cramp, and that's the end of it. End of the story. And that happens several more times later on.
So, I have to reference my notes just to see how the story kind of unfolds.
And I was so enthralled with this story, I didn't take any notes. This is going to be all off the top.
This is we just watched it,
right?
So,
yeah, literally just ran down.
I wish that we could say that this movie was on sale while you're listening to this, but it won't be. But this movie was on sale for 99 cents. On Amazon Prime,
and I feel like we should go up and buy it again because it was worth it.
Yes, I promise you, I will be buying this on Blu-ray.
Yes,
I will.
This might be jumping the gun. This is what I was planning on saying towards the end, but this is definitely a new cult favorite of mine. And I will. This is the guest level of amazingness, I would say, which is also surprisingly what we started last year's marathon with as well. So
another one.
So I guess we'll just do that every year.
It's
we
be
start
with
things, homage, but also pushes everything into the fucking stratosphere.
Just smashing it out there. I went into this with some expectations, as we kind of mentioned in our draft, which you could probably, if you're listening here, you can listen to later on. But if you're a patron of Luke, you'll hopefully be able to listen to that earlier. But this movie was coming around in the horror kind of community for a little while.
I remember seeing trailers like, "Whoa, dude, what the fuck?"
Yeah, because it's just wild.
It is all over the place.
And even what's his name, Maniacal Cinephile did a review on this as well. And I totally forgot that I had watched that, but I feel like his review didn't do this movie justice.
I don't think not taking at least 30 to 45 whole minutes is enough. This movie, as I was watching, I was thinking, like, I put my asshole YouTuber hat on, and I was thinking, this is one of those movies where what someone's going to do is run through it with all 75 things you missed in Psycho Goreman.
Yeah.
Number 12, it's the Terminator. Number 47, it's Critters, which I noticed that was the shape-shifting element reminded me a lot of Critters.
Yeah, sure.
So,
well,
boy, that's...
we'll see. What'd you think of the two main stars in this? And I know it sprawls out a little bit more where it kind of opens up the main characters again, but like two kids.
I was reading a few reviews as we were coming down, and a lot of them were saying that the Mimi was getting obnoxious, and I would disagree. I didn't find her to like get too annoying. I thought she had like the perfect amount of like angst, I guess.
Yeah, teenage growing up.
But was it just me, or were a lot of her lines like they sounded like they were dubbed over again?
Yeah, a lot of them were.
I don't know what that was. That was the only real distracting part. But other than that, I thought she was fucking hilarious. Not only did she react like a kid probably would with such a out there sort of situation, like in E.T. they act the same way,
right.
But not. This is what I imagine like a kid making this movie would direct the kid. If that does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if 12-year-old Luke was directing Psycho Goreman, I totally would have told my actor to just go fucking balls out,
just
like
do
that.
it, like ham it up.
And I really just couldn't stop laughing really the whole time. I was eating all of the cheese up and just tipping my cap at the fact that they just went completely nuts and did everything and anything, I guess.
I think her and the father were the two, those were the killer
I was thinking
characters.
That guy would be a great Jerry in a live-action Rick and Morty. That was like the perfect comparison I could think of with Pete.
Yeah, for sure.
Was that his name? Greg. Whatever.
Pete, Greg, same thing. Dad names that were...
And Susan.
Susan.
That's another one. It built all up just for a lazy Susan joke.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Just slapping it out. The amount of practical effects, stop motion and claymation-esque animation in this movie.
All of the classic techniques.
And the fact that they went so far and beyond to set up this like extravagant lore for Psycho Goreman that no one ever got any more about.
Yeah, I did not expect a cosmic multi-galaxy threat with these wonderfully slapped together homemade props, which
I couldn't believe the amount of stage production that went into this.
There was a lot of love put in,
like between like the alien races that we saw, his whole get up, and then all of the just like in your face like just obnoxious gore, And I guess it's in the name, right?
They definitely deliver.
But they don't short it out. You don't get shorted out at all. And that's just fantastic.
If you're a fan of any type of horror movie, really, there's something to go, I see where you're coming from and why you're doing it, and it is just all over the fucking place.
Yeah,
like it's hard to even kind of rein in enough to talk about. Like,
yes.
you just got to get out and watch it.
Lots of not animation, but I guess even animation was being inspired by a lot of things, but there's a lot of inspiration from everything from 80s horror all the way up through like 90s television.
Yeah.
Because we got like, there's a huge fight scene where these other crazy ass aliens kind of come down, and it's straight out of 1999's Power Rangers TV show.
Yeah.
And they punch each other and sparks fly off.
And it's the same sound effects every punch. It was exactly like a live action Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
Mixed with Jason Voorhees and all kinds of outrageous sugary breakfast cereal fucking craziness.
And they don't try to hide it.
No, they don't.
They're not like we kind of mentioned. We talked about a lot of different things on the draft, but this is one thing that we want to go back to because it reminds me of this. Is we mentioned that in the movie Frankenstein's Army there is a boss that was pulled from Resident Evil, right?
Yeah.
And there's like some character thing that they try to hide. That they're not giving homage to anything. This is completely opposite, where they're like, we know what we're doing, and we're gonna ham this shit up all the way through. Predictable,
but in the best way.
Right.
Like it was like, I don't know. It was almost like a choose your own adventure. Like I was thinking in my head like 3 different ways every scene would go.
Sure, because
most of the time it would go one of the ways.
Yeah,
and you were predicting stuff perfectly, and just the whole time it was compounding on just more and more cheesiness, and yet it never like went over that line where it was like, okay, I'm out. You're just
no.
I don't know. I guess they weren't trying too hard either. I'm not sure.
Do you have the budget on this bad boy? Can you look it up?
I don't know.
I'm so interested because
let me see if I can find it.
What they do really well, that if you listened to Halloween Extravaganza #1 last year,
1.5 mil.
Really?
In Canadian money. I don't know what the conversion is.
It's pretty much the same.
Okay. So yeah, and this movie made $100,000 worldwide.
Whoa.
At least that's according to IMDb, which is always perfectly credible and not at all.
No, never wrong
nonsense.
at all. Ever. Nothing on the internet is ever wrong.
Abe Lincoln said that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. Wow, only 100,000, but they didn't do a huge like theatrical release.
No, this is definitely like a for the fans type.
Well, it was a Shudder movie.
I think Shudder bought it afterwards. I don't think it.
Really?
Yeah, as far as I know, it wasn't.
Regardless of the fact, I don't think it was one of those ones that they're going to lose out any money on.
No,
this was... I think that was a smart purchase.
Yeah,
for
and I'm sure like as time goes on, it'll like fucking Shawshank Redemption flopped. Like
sure,
it
but
happens.
I mean, look at all the cult classics we have now. You know what this almost reminds me of, and you mentioned it too. I think is Mars Attacks.
Yes.
It was kind of like, what in the fuck?
Which was Tim Burton was given a lot of money and just went, fuck it.
I can't. Yeah, you're right, and I'm sure. Who's the guy who did this? Steven Kostanski.
Costanza, yeah.
Oh, Costanza.
I don't know.
No, Kostansky. Don't fuck with me.
I'm doing a Seinfeld.
Yeah, I feel you. He did Manborg, and he had a part in ABCs of Death too.
Of course.
Which wasn't as good as the first one. Have you ever seen those?
I have seen none of them. Aren't they like 26 short films?
Yeah, they're like short films put together.
I saw a video
Some
on
were
that.
kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
He also did Father's Day, and I thought that was Rainn Wilson on the cover. But
I know The Stepfather with Terry O'Quinn.
It's not.
Who am I here?
He also did Leprechaun Returns from 2018.
Wah, wah.
No, not a fan.
I haven't seen it.
Not a fan, buddy.
People really like those movies. And
Yeah,
they're just the same thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the. And apparently he's got another one that just. Oh, never mind. It's 2016. It's just out of order.
It's canceled.
Yeah.
Psycho Goreman flopped. We're pulling him.
Here's the thing, though. I bet he did the same thing that Tim Burton did. His studio or whoever was.
This was not a studio picture. This was.
Dude, there had to have been some kind of studio behind
this.
This
had to have been like crowdfunded. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass. But.
Studios. Let's see what it says. Yeah, it's
Warner Brothers.
No.
Universal.
Dystopia Films, Raven Banner Entertainment, and Purple Dog.
Yeah, but are those like real or are those?
They're real. They have a couple movies underneath them.
Okay.
Hey, Raven Banner Entertainment did Spare Parts and June, with the cult classic June.
Of course, Juno.
And The Collapsed and Luz, The Flower of Evil. Didn't you know? Come on, man.
Those are in the Library of Congress for cultural significance.
And Purple Dog did The Office Mix-Up. So it's like Dystopia Films, they did Mado. Come on.
Tell me this. Tell me you didn't think when the Creeper or when Psycho Goreman had on the hat and the shirt and like the tie, he looked just like the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that the whole time, and then he took off some of his clothes and got blood splatter. And then I pointed out to you the blue-collared bloody shirt.
Yeah.
Definitely not Ash Williams inspired
Evil Dead
at
shit here.
all.
Uh-huh.
But speaking of enormous amounts of blood, do you want to talk about Rich Evans? Who, of course, plays a absolutely critical role to the entire integrity of not only the story, but I would say cinema as a whole going forward. Rich Evans plays a bucket of bones, blood, and human body parts.
Yeah.
And
which is funny because they're from outer space and they don't know what Earth is, but he's filled with
human stuff. Right.
Yeah. So it was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and next to him you've got what did we call him? Like Aquaman meets something or another.
Yeah, he looked like the guy you're talking about, the Planet of the Apes guy.
Oh, Planet of the Apes meets Aquaman. That's what we predicted.
And then there was like a puppet thing that reminded me of she was a witch, so she had like a shrunken head on a stick.
Yeah, and she tried to like pull his head off, and he just went
nope, and put it back on.
Plopped it right back on.
So that's my head.
We had the Medusa Predator hybrid that explodes.
Yep.
A lot of people explode in this movie or get like turned into squishies,
which is totally fine.
Yes,
totally fine.
It was
because you know why? Let me tell you why. Rob Zombie did CGI blood. This guy just made
practical.
Just made sure that blood was seen.
I would allow whoever did this. Man, that sounded dumb the way I just said that.
I would allow.
I am the arbiter of what film is.
I dictate this.
I would be much more forgiving with Rob Zombie's movies, and I would be okay with this guy saying, "I will crawl over there and I will skull fuck the shit out of you," like in the Halloween remake.
Yeah.
If it were more like Psycho Goreman.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to get at here. Is Rob Zombie should be more like Psycho Goreman.
To be honest with you, though, that's not even a far stretch. Like, I would expect that coming from Zombie.
Yes.
But that's not what I get.
This seems like if Rob Zombie was dialed back. If he never got that Universal deal with House of a Thousand Corpses, this is what he would be doing.
But this is what he is supposed to be doing.
Yes.
In my opinion. Like, this is what he should be doing. You know
what's going to be crazy is when Rob Zombie listens to this and he goes, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, Zombie's listening to this, my ass. I always like to lay out a little bit of a overall opinion that I like to write down.
Okay.
And it's quick, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, a log line for
light humor mixed with gore, blood, and fantastic acting quips.
Yeah.
The science fiction story is just a helpful hand that is a welcome addition to this movie.
Yeah.
Boom.
I would say the Monster Squad, if it were made in the 90s by someone in the 2010s.
It's Monster Squad meets Power Rangers meets failed 1990s sci-fi movies.
Meets the Mr. T breakfast cereal.
Meets
He-Man. And
yes. And not just He-Man, but like Conan the Barbarian.
Yes. Yeah.
Also meets
Freddy versus Jason.
Overwatch because of the alien people. And those video gamers
and you
will get
throw that in a big industrial-sized trash compactor and you shard out Psycho Goreman.
Yes.
And we even get the beautiful bait for the sequel being that the interstellar demon monster council pulls out a normal Earth revolver and says, "We could just kill ourselves."
Yeah.
And that is how you make a film.
That's right. What's your? I gotta ask. What's your favorite scene from this movie? I know
There's so many
I know
choices.
mine. I had to write it down because it was by far the hardest. I think I laughed.
I would definitely say the cheesy '80s montage where they do the karate.
Yep.
Was that yours?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I would say that would definitely be.
I figured that would be
where
yours,
especially the part where he does the fucking clothes walkout, like straight out of Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
The only way that could have been better is if Pretty Woman was playing. That's the only way.
Oh my god. Yeah, that
outstanding
whole montage is fantastic.
Yes.
My favorite scene happens near the end, but it's the dad pep talking himself in the mirror on the toilet, and it's just something. I think we've all been there.
Yes.
You know, where it's just we had to get away, and the only way to do so is to sit on the shitter and just go through your mind.
And you're like, in your head, you're like, I'm right.
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck?
And you're telling someone off in your mind, but then when you go back outside, it's not something that you can do.
And then, of course, the situation we've all been in, is a unattached head of a monster your kid
a
is
demon, yeah.
controlling, screams at you to come find him, and then elaborates no further and is gone.
Yes.
Who hasn't
that
had
has
that happen?
That's happened to me several times, and luckily he was on the pooper because he probably shot a couple more.
He probably
Right
like
out.
a fucking shotgun blast.
Torpedo right out.
Probably
of his
went
booty
right
hole.
through the toilet down into the ground.
Smashed the porcelain. Overall, I think that although I think we're a little dial back because one, it's our first episode of the season or the event, and also it's super late. But overall, this movie was.
If we had more
trip.
energy, we'd be laughing a lot more.
It was a trip through the whole thing,
Yeah.
start to finish.
We didn't even mention the part where the guy melts a cop, and then the cop just kind of follows them around for the rest of the movie.
And then constantly tries to kill himself.
Yeah,
he's just shooting himself in the head.
He gives a little girl who's no more than 2, like Cindy Lou Who, and it's a bloody heart that says, "Please kill me," and that's all you need to know this is a fucking masterpiece.
Also, there is a brain that.
Oh yeah, and they turn a little kid into a fucking sentient brain, like Beware the Blob, and he just kind of hangs out the rest of the movie.
And then at the end,
it's like, oh my god, you know what this movie fucking reminds me of? Have you ever seen Freaked with Alex Winter from Bill and Ted?
No.
Holy fuck, we need to watch that.
Okay.
It's this movie. This is the spiritual sequel to Freaked. I'm marking it down.
So. I just love the end portion where the mom's like, dinner's ready, and it's just like a brain sitting at the table.
And that's how the movie, that's how it goes to the closing credits, is a family thrown into turmoil because their son was turned into a pile of goop.
Just a brain.
I love this movie.
I do too, man.
Absolutely.
I will tell you.
This blew past my expectations. I thought this was going to be like, hey, we're doing the 80s, but with like blood, man, it's gonna be crazy. And this was certainly the definition of a love letter and a passion project. 100%.
All wrapped in one.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about this before, but there are several of these movies that I have dear love for, and they're always like this very strange one-off, have very like either super great opinions or there's no in between with them, right? The Human Centipede 1 being one of them.
Oh, yeah?
Where I just love that movie. I don't know why. There's nothing special about it. It's just like...
I can't believe that became a franchise.
Right.
Because that first one is so out there.
Yeah, it's just a strange movie, poor, bad production.
And the thing is, like...
I love it.
I understand why you like it, because it's like... Everyone knows of it now. It's like, oh, it's that weird movie. But, like, if you really sit down and watch it, it's really not that, like...
No, it's not. It's just weird.
It's not like extraordinarily graphic or like it's really just a guy seems like he had a really fucked up story to tell, and he did it seriously. But guys get sewn together and shit in the mouth, so it's kind of
and that's
belittled.
the thing. There's only one graphic scene technically in this movie, and it's or two. One is when her staples are, not to go off on a tangent here, but. When her
Human Centipede mini review.
When her staples are infected, and when the guy slits his own throat
Yeah.
Those are the only two parts that show gore, and one's because it's pus, and the other one's because it's blood. It's all in your head, and it all makes you. That's what's so great about it. This on the flop side, it's very in
it's
your
out
face,
there. Yeah,
you know? So
yeah.
I really appreciate that. The other one that is not a horror movie at all, but it's very strange, is Frank. And I know you haven't seen Frank yet, but it has like this just very strange storyline. So this is one of those cult classic things that I think I'm going to be like obsessed with.
Yeah, this will definitely be a yearly rewatch.
Yeah, watch it multiple times. Here on the channel, we rate our movies two different ways. Number one, we pick it and or flick it. Pick it meaning it's great, go watch it.
Yeah.
Flick it meaning it's bad, throw it out the window. And then we also like to give you a 1 out of a 10, just so you can match it up with some things that we've also watched in the past.
Oh, yeah.
So, Luke, first things first, on a scale 1 to 10.
Oh, see, I was hoping you were going to do this one second.
We can do it second.
Well, that's the thing. Is with a movie like this, clearly this is not high, deep art by any means.
Sure.
So judging this with the same metric you would like a serious like period drama is outrageous and fucking stupid. So don't get so caught up on the scores. It doesn't really matter that much.
Right.
So kind of throwing this on a conventional one is almost impossible because I would give it a 10. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 star.
Yeah, on Letterboxd. Yeah.
But like balancing it out altogether, I would say probably like an 8.
Okay.
I don't know. It could be a 1 or a 10. I could understand the argument for any of those numbers.
Yeah. So pick for you.
Yeah, big pick. Yep.
Also a huge pick for me, but I will tell you that whenever, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, whenever a movie brings in an unnecessary musical number, I automatically drop it down 1 entire point. I was going to give this a 10 out of 10 as well, but I have to give it a 9 out of 10 because...
Oh, wow, okay.
The first musical number is during the montage, and that's
I wouldn't
totally
even count
fine,
that. Yeah,
right?
that's that.
The second one is when they're standing there singing at each other, and it's just not okay.
Yeah.
Stop that. So 9 out of 10, but a pick from me.
Yeah, this movie is unlike anything, and yet everything at once. It's kind of impossible to explain. Yes. You just gotta
just sit down and watch it. It's on
experience.
It's on Shudder. It's on Amazon. You're welcome.
Wow.
Yes, sit down and watch it. Until then, another one tomorrow. Another one tomorrow.
Congratulations, you played yourself. Have a good night.
Nice.